Hey guys. So it hasn't even been a week and I'm posting again because I'm productive like that. And I just had something on my mind thanks to events of the past few days and I kind of wanted to throw something out to you. And I know it's a subject that has been discussed ad nauseum, but it's not one that I've really actively engaged in on YouTube, so I thought I'd give it a whirl. On Saturday, there was a Pagan Pride Day here in town, and I had originally intended to go, but then I woke up that morning and it was raining, and I was just feeling tired, and I changed my mind. But I was thinking about it later, and it occurred to me that maybe that really wasn't the reason why I decided not to go. And I was thinking about it again, and I realized that I'd actually been feeling kind of alienated by the wider pagan community, whatever that even means. Because on Thursday, I went to an interest meeting on campus for the potential formation of a pagan student union. And I started a pagan student group at my first college when I was a freshman, and then when I transferred, I participated in the already established group. So I've done the pagan student union thing, and when I found out that this was going on, I thought it might be a fun way to meet people, get involved, and hey, every school should have a pagan student union. Anyway, as I'm sitting around the table with these kids who were all really nice and really sincere, and it was cool. As I'm sitting around the table and I'm listening to them speak, it occurs to me that I have almost nothing in common with these people. And that's fine, okay, but it just got me thinking about why I was even there, and why, even though I am a part of an established group that I'm very happy with, why it is that I still feel compelled to seek out a wider, publicly accessible community, be it through festival attendance or open rituals. A lot of towns nowadays actually have established Wiccan churches, which still kind of freaks me out, but that's another thing altogether. Anyway, one of the issues that one of the girls brought up was about what we should name the group and how exclusive, or inclusive rather, it should be, just because she was saying, well, should we make it so that it's open to, that we encourage Buddhist and Hindu and Islamic students to come, and etc. And my response was, well, of course anyone should be welcome, but those students have their own groups, so I would be very surprised if any of them were interested in ours. But she thought that calling it a pagan student union or a pagan campus club or whatever, using the word pagan, she was afraid that it would be too exclusive. And then we got into this conversation about what it really meant to be pagan, because someone else suggested that we call it the Polytheistic student group or something like that. And I, again, made a comment about how, well, not all pagans are polytheists. And it just kind of turned into this thing that was more complicated than it really needed to be. But anyway, I left just feeling not sorry I'd gone or anything like that, but just wondering about the concept of community and wondering what it really means to A, be part of a community at all, and B, what it means to be pagan, because I personally have never been satisfied with the earth-based definition, just because there are plenty of neo-pagan traditions that aren't earth-based, at least not in the same way that people usually mean. Reconstructionist traditions, for example, and not naming anything specifically, but if you're worshiping particular ancient deities, that doesn't necessarily have anything to do with recycling. So whether or not you want to call something earth-based, if it doesn't have a holy day cycle based on seasonal change like Wicca does or something like that, whether or not you want to call it earth-based, I think is really, really debatable. And it becomes problematic. And again, like I said earlier, there are plenty of traditions. There's no way you can say, oh, well, neo-pagans are polytheists, because, well, that's not really the case either. So anyway, lately I've just been thinking about what it actually means to be pagan and why it is that we choose that word for ourselves, maybe as opposed to some others, especially for those of you, I say you because I'm not included in this, especially for those of you who aren't members of specific traditions, why it is that you choose the word pagan. When it doesn't seem to have, well, it doesn't have an established, universally accepted definition. Not that I necessarily am advocating trying to establish a definition, I'm more just curious about what that means to you. So I would welcome any thoughts or comments, and otherwise I hope you guys are having a good evening.